All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Dion's Daily Dose. And tonight, got a couple of new things. First of all, I have a new camera. I am not completely happy with the setup as of yet. However, you guys let me know what you think about the lighting and etc. I think we're going to turn it down just a little bit. Still playing with stuff, still trying to get it set up, but new camera. You guys let me know what you think. I think it looks a lot better. It was fine. Like the other camera was fine, except it kept freezing when I was trying to do shows with Sean. His would work fine, but mine kept like skipping and freezing. So I decided to get a new one and just do that and see. And so here we go. Like I said, you guys let me know what you think. Hopefully everything is nice and visible for you. I'm probably going to tighten up the frame a little bit, mess with it. You can kind of see the edge of the PC here. I don't really have a much better solution at the moment. However, we are working on some stuff. So anyway, guys, so those of you who follow the show who are residents of LaPorte County, specifically those who are precinct committeemen, women, whatever, precinct committee people, there is an election coming up, guys. I think it's March 1st. I'm not 100% sure on the date. I believe it's March 1st. Anyway, we have an election coming up for the party leadership, the president, or the chairman, the chairman of the LaPorte County GOP, the vice chair, and the secretary. Treasurer, too? Yeah. So we have a few positions that are going to get voted on. In my opinion, guys, like it's not even up for debate. I have a whole list that was sent via email about the accomplishments of our current chairman. And although I don't always agree with Chairman Stevens, he has absolutely done, I believe, better than anyone else could, given the circumstances. He has basically turned LaPorte County red, with the exception of Michigan City. But I mean, it's Michigan City, dude. Like, there's not much you can do with Michigan City. However, he has definitely turned around what I feel was a fading party. I could go into a lot more detail and would happily if you guys want me to, but just in general, the party just wasn't really doing much when I joined, which was like, I want to say 2019. I started going to the county party stuff and we weren't even really having any meetings. We weren't doing anything. Hi, Sean. Good to see you. Sean wasn't able to make it tonight, but good to know he's checking us out. So we have, and look, don't get me wrong, the previous party chairman was perfectly fine. It's just we didn't really do that much. And he had health issues, and I understand that. I'm not disparaging the guy. However, our current chairman has truly turned things around. I mean, clean sweeps, man, just about for the county. There was only like one Republican that didn't win last election in LaPorte County. It's like he has done wonders, and we're having regular functions. We're able to raise some good money, and we're raising money at these functions. Look, guys, I am not, if you guys have followed the channel for any length of time, you know I am not pro-establishment. I'm very much anti-establishment. But I think that specifically here in LaPorte County, this party is made up almost exclusively, a few holdouts, but almost exclusively made up of what I would call new Republicans, Trump Republicans, people who just want shit fixed. We just believe that there's more to this government than what we're seeing, which leads me into my next point, which is DOGE. Bruh, it says a lot when the complaints right now are nobody elected Elon Musk, nobody elected Musk, nobody elected Elon. They don't care about the billions and billions of dollars in waste. They don't care about the tons of money that is being sent to other countries under the guise of helping. Let me show you guys what I mean. All right. So this is, let's see. Now that's interesting. I think it's because of the, all right, give me a second, guys. This is going to be really annoying. Let's not. Give me 1 second. I'm going to change up how this is. 1 second. Okay. I just got to move some stuff around. So I have this rather large monitor. And because of the way that it's designed, it's like the super weird widescreen. Unfortunately, it's not showing up properly. So that's okay. Give me just 1 second. There we go. All right. There we go. Okay. So let me show you guys what we got. So this is the actual X account for DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. 3.5 million followers. So this was 15 minutes ago. Also today, the Department of Education terminated 89 contracts worth $881 million. One contractor was paid $1.5 million to, quote, observe mailing and clerical operations at a mail center. Yes. 45 minutes ago today, the Department of Education terminated 29 DEI training grants totaling $101 million. Department of Agriculture, 18 contracts for a total of $9 million. Adjustment to the DHS website, page not found. Very good. Gulf of America, great coordination across 35 agencies over the last 2 days. This was February 7th. To terminate 199 wasteful contracts, saving about $250 million. February 7th, Department of Education terminated 3 DEI training grants totaling $15 million. Saved about $4 billion annually in excessive grant administrative costs. This was February 7th. In the past 48 hours, HHS canceled 62 contracts worth $182 million. These contracts were entirely for administrative expenses. None touched any healthcare programs. This included terminating a $168,000 contract for an Anthony Fauci exhibit at the NIH Museum. This is classic, by the way, unburdened by what has been. This is U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, right? This is the new building facade, scrubbed clean. Sean says, I doubt that entire amount of money was spent for that purpose. I imagine most of it went somewhere else. Absolutely. I mean, here's the thing. We know money laundering when we see it. If you guys ever seen Independence Day, I know probably Sean hasn't, but everybody else, if you've seen Independence Day, there's a part where Jeff Goldblum's character, his dad, talks about, you don't think they spend $50 million on a hammer, $100 million on a screwdriver, do you? He's talking about Pentagon waste, right? But the point is, there is so much fraud, waste, money laundering, everything. And again, what we're seeing from the Democrats and some elected Republicans, and that's a point I want to bring up here very shortly, the outrage that we're seeing isn't that the government is wasting your money, right? Wasting my money. It has nothing to do with it. They're not mad about that. No, they're perfectly okay with all that money going out. As a matter of fact, they are angry that this money is being held on to, that this money isn't being distributed freely across the planet. Why? You know why? Because they're making money off of it. These are all backroom deals. And we see it all the time, guys. Like it doesn't just happen on the federal level. And that's something that you guys really need to be aware of. This is something that happens in local, county, state, and federal areas. We were just talking about this the other day. So you guys saw that the state wants to raise gas taxes. I'm sorry, not gas taxes. They want to raise road taxes. And there's a big proposal out there, which I'll make sure I cover this with you guys. But essentially, it makes it to where the counties are more responsible for the roads than the state. Local and county are more responsible. They have to spend more money, whereas the state does not. Remember, guys, we have a surplus in Indiana. Multi-billion dollars, at least $1 billion surplus. They told us that by instituting this wheel tax, that our roads would be better. I don't know about you, but I haven't seen a market improvement in the quality of our roads. Have you? Excuse me. But the point that I wanted to make regarding Sean asked, isn't that the wheel tax? Yeah, wheel tax, $25 on your registration. Every time you get your car renewed, an extra $25 goes to the so-called wheel tax here in LaPorte. What's the wheel tax for? Well, we were told it was to fix our damn roads. However, now, of course, the state's saying, the county's saying, we don't have enough money. Yeah. And like Sean says, even though they keep telling us that this was the last time, precisely every single time they raise freaking taxes on us, it's, we're not going to do it again. This is the last time. We just need a little more. Just a little, you see any of that tax money? Like, come on, man. It's ridiculous. They're addicted to it at this point. It is insane. But let me show you what I was looking for here. Let's see. Yeah. So did you guys hear about the Politico subscriptions? Apparently, millions and millions of dollars, $8 million, I think, was spent. Here's one here today. This was February 4th. 12 consulting contract terminations in GSA in the Department of Education for a total savings of $30 million, including a $23 million work order for, quote, digital modernization program management office support. 12 underutilized lease cancellations for an annual savings of $3 million. Dude, and let me make a point while I'm thinking about it. Okay. So they try to tell us that these 18, 19, 20, mid 20-year-olds don't know what the hell they're talking about. They have no idea. There's no way that these people could possibly have any life experience at this point, right? 2 points. One, there are some extremely intelligent young people. Just because someone is young does not mean they're not smart. And it doesn't mean they're not number savvy as well. One of the guys on the DOGE team is, what did he do? He was like the first person to read this ancient text on burned scrolls from somewhere. But these are accomplished people. This is not your, teenage son in the basement who doesn't do anything. This is a huge deal, guys. Let's see. Sean says, have you seen the DOGE clock? Oh, thank you. Let's see here. What is this? DOGEgov.com/DOGE clock. Let's check this out. All right. DOGEgov.com. Was it a DOGE clock? All right, here we go. What is this? Oh my goodness. I have not seen this. I heard about it, but I have not seen this. Okay. So apparently if you go to DOGEgov.com/DOGE clock, it says here, Department of Government Efficiency Live Tracker, right? 508 days until July 4th, 2026. What happens July 4th, 2026? That's interesting. Taxpayer dollars saved. $36.7 billion with a B, billion dollars. That's $244.69 giggity cents per taxpayer savings. That is nuts, guys. That is nuts. Okay, now this is interesting. So it says, okay, 1 trillion, 2 trillion. Okay, 49 total initiatives, right? So we got Explore, memes. They got memes on this website. Debt tracker, spend tracker, deficit articles, agent ID, shop merch, and Doge clock. Interesting. So they've barely gotten started. Here's the point that I was trying to make, though, that you guys need to be aware of, right? So one of the things that we keep being told is Doge team is finding all this money and all these ways to cut, right? And the Republicans, the elected Republicans, are like, oh, this is good. Elon's doing such a great job. And the Democrats are like, oh, he's evil. He's this, he's that. Not mad about the billions and billions of dollars of your money they're spending, by the way. But here's my point. Where have all these Republicans been? All these elected officials could have done this, right? As a matter of fact, if you guys have seen the video of the security guard outside of what was it, USAID, I believe, or Department of Education, one of the two. Anyway, the guy was out there and people yelling at him and trying to get him to back down. He wouldn't, which good for him. But these Democrats are like, oh, we were able to get in here last year. Okay. And what did you do? What changes did you make? What improvements? What cuts did you make? Okay. Sean says it's the deadline that Trump has given is July 4th of 2026. Now, that is interesting. What happens 4th of July next year? Why is that the deadline? It's an interesting timeline. I'll give it that. A lot of people have a lot of thoughts about what's going to happen and what is, I guess, the result, right? The end goal here. Let's see here. Okay. So let me show you guys this right here because I did find it interesting. All right. So this is, again, the Doge account on X. This was from January 31st. Updated data on DEI related contract cancellations with full detail. Look at this, guys. Can you see? I hope so. Yeah, you should be able to see it. All right. So Bureau of Land Management, one contract, $389,494 ceiling value. We saved $169,000, $19.9 million from CFPB. I'm not sure what that is. Probably California of some sort. Department of Agriculture, $110 million, $2 million, all the way down at the bottom, $1 billion with a B, $60,792. Guys, that is nuts. Like it says here, through 129.25, 85 DEIA related contracts totaling approximately $1 billion have been terminated within the Department of Education, GSA, OPM, EPA, DOL, Treasury, etc., etc. Now, I don't know about you, but that is exactly what I voted for, because I am tired of the United States of America not being merit driven, but instead being race driven or some other than merit. That's what it needs to be. It needs to be a meritocracy, the same thing that we've been. All right. So apparently, Sean says, Times of India, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy revealed Doge's expiry date. When is it? All right. So it looks like that's what's on the show there. All right. So as I like to do, I like to throw in just a sprinkle of tinfoil, right? Just a little sprinkle of tinfoil hat. So I ran across this. This is wild, guys. Okay. First of all, do you guys know who Adam Walsh is? The name Adam Walsh. He is from, you probably know him from America's Most Wanted, right? He was the host of that program. Now, why do I bring this up? This is a very interesting thread. I cannot speak to the accuracy of it, but I read it and it's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Okay, this is from Madam Punisher at Elizabeth P. Dove. Adam Walsh's missing FBI file. Now, who is Adam Walsh? The son of John Walsh. We'll get to it. Last night, I was on a space and mentioned Adam Walsh's missing FBI file. Adam Walsh is the son of John Walsh. You know John Walsh from America's Most Wanted and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Okay. This is page 16 from said missing FBI file. Blank, obviously redacted, indicated he learned from his source that one blank was a close associate of known OC figures. I'm thinking organized crime. Most notably, Alfred James Rivenbark and blank. Indeed, blank name and address were found on the body of Riverbark, who was killed in a plane crash in Colorado Springs, Colorado, along with others, including Ken Ogala. Blank indicated blank has a DOB of either blank. The former DOB is associated with an individual who has FBI number blank. There's a lot of redactions here. Blank stated that blank identified the crash victims of the plane crash and also attended to matters affecting Riverbark's business. Blank noted that the purpose of the travel to Colorado was drug-related. Who identified the bodies? What does a plane crash in Colorado and drugs have to do with a missing boy in Florida? Now, this is the file itself. You guys can see. Redacted. Okay. Let's start at the beginning. Adam Walsh, was the son of John Walsh, who was the host of America's Most Wanted. He went missing from a Sears department store at the Hollywood Mall in Hollywood, Florida on July 27th, 1981. The official story was that he was there with his mom, Reeve, R-E-V-E, I'm not sure. She went off to look at lamps and left him alone for 10 minutes to play a video game that was on display in the store. The other children there were causing issues. So the whole group of children were asked to leave the store. Testimony from the security guards, store cameras, and Jim Campbell tell a different story than this. But let's leave it alone for now. The point is, Adam Walsh was never seen again. On August 10th, a severed head was found in a drainage canal alongside the Florida Turnpike near Vero Beach. It was badly decomposed. This was identified to be Adam Walsh. How was the identification made, and who identified Adam Walsh's remains? Now, this is where it starts to get interesting. Family friend and business partner John Monahan. The Walshes certainly weren't at the Vero Beach morgue when the ID was made. They were in New York, where they had just appeared on Good Morning America to ask a national audience for help in looking for their missing son. It was in the overnight hours when police first called them at their hotel and said that a dead child had been found the evening before. They didn't know it was Adam, but at least to themselves, they felt pretty sure. I spoke to the show producer, who told me she immediately offered to return the couple to Florida on the first flight out, but John turned it down. I also spoke to the show host, David Hartman, who told me he'd later offered the same thing. Instead, they went on the show that morning. Mrs. Walsh looked catatonic and said nothing. On air, John said this, quote, "Well, amongst many sightings and reported possible clues on Adam, they have found the remains of a young person in Florida that at this time they're trying to identify whether it's Adam or not. At this point, they feel there is a good possibility it is not Adam. Therefore, they feel we should come on and carry the word, or they felt we should come on and carry the word of Adam to the public because there is a good likelihood that he is still out there with his abductors." Also in his book, Walsh wrote that his friend, John Monahan, who was at the morgue for them, did not immediately recognize the child as Adam. He made the ID only after he asked the ME to open the mouth and he saw a, quote, small emerging tooth. This is elaborated on nowhere in the official files or in Walsh's writing or interviews over the years. There's a link if you care. The FBI file wasn't the only thing that has gone missing. From day one, the medical examiner's report was also missing. This is what true crime author Arthur J. Harris found out when he launched his own investigation into Adam Walsh's death. I say apparently because this is another problem in the Broward ME file. It's morgue procedure to log out remains. Usually, if not always, the funeral home handling the body signs the log. But in the Adam Walsh case, there is no sign-out signature in either its case file or the office's general sign-in, sign-out logbook. The current chief medical examiner himself checked that for me, and the remains are now gone, he said. The medical examiner who made the ID announced it quickly after the child was found, as if it wasn't much of a disputed issue. It was based on a comparison of Adam's dental chart showing a molar with a filling on the cheek side to the mouth of the found child. That and a visual ID at the morgue by a family friend of the Walshes. Remember, there was no torso, so there were no fingerprints. And in 1981, forensic DNA matching wasn't available. It wasn't a thing then. Here's what should be in the medical examiner's files, though. A copy of Adam's dental chart. Adam's dental x-rays and x-rays of the mouth of the found child. A forensic dental consultation report affirming the ID. And a completed signed autopsy report narrative since an autopsy was performed. Here's what's in the Adam Walsh case medical examiner's office files. None of that. None of it. It claimed. Nor is any of it in any other agency's investigative files. I confirmed that by getting all the files through public records requests, interviews with, or questions to heads of all the appropriate agencies, and then a written report of an investigation I requested from the Florida Medical Examiners Commission, a division of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Adam's dentist didn't keep any of Adam's records either. As it turns out, the x-rays, for comparison, are the most significant pieces of evidence missing. I found all the forensic dentists who were working in South Florida in 1981, and were available to do a consultation or were already under contract with the regional ME's offices. All told me they hadn't been asked. Until I spoke to them, had no idea there might have been any issue with the Walsh ID. Both the found child and Adam had a filling in a lower left molar on the buccal or cheek side. I don't know how you say it, buccal, buccal. But it turns out that's one of the most common places for children to get cavities. But what does a plane crash in Colorado have to do with Adam Walsh, a missing boy in in Florida? 3 months after Adam went missing, a plane crash occurred in Colorado. 3 months later, in November 1981, a private turbojet had crashed carrying 7 bound from Apalaca Airport in Dade. All had been killed and body parts were scattered, even in trees. At the crash site, investigators had found 30 handguns, one holstered to a victim's leg, and 50 to 60,000 in cash in the fresh snow. Among the dead were the following: Kinji Bando, 30, of Fort Lauderdale; Shelley Stock, 32, of Bay Harbor Island; pilot Howard Sal, 29, of North Miami; co-pilot Charles Sal, 27, of North Miami; Larry Schinfeld, 54, of North Miami; Herbert Meyer, 37, of Hialeah; Alan Riverbark, 40, of North Miami. Wayne Valentine, chief of the Denver office of the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, said Friday 2 agents were sent to the crash site as part of the agency's continuing investigation. Quote, It is a very likely possibility the plane was carrying cocaine, said Valentine. He noted the plane was suspected as a carrier of cocaine from South America to the United States. Okay, here's the article. Alan Riverbark, the plane's owner, had links to 6 of the largest drug smuggling rings ever uncovered in the United States. What drug smuggling rings? The Colombo family in New York, organized crime family, Simone Rizzo, Sam the plumber, and Joseph Ippolito from the Decavalcante family, organized crime family, marijuana and cocaine, the Black Tuna Gang, marijuana, there's a name, Daryl and Tracy Boyd of Pembroke Park, smuggling, the DeLisi brothers supplied drugs to the Farisi family, Universal Seafood, cocaine. An investigation was launched, by the way, called Operation Lone Star. Kinji Bando was Alan Riverbark's bodyguard. His real name also wasn't Kinji Bando. It was Ken Ogawa. He was formerly employed at the 4 O'Clock Club in Hollywood, Florida as a bouncer. Okay. He took on the name Kinji Bando because he was a fugitive from police. There was a warrant for his arrest over the kidnapping and essay of a 19-year-old prostitute. Ogawa's former boss at the 4 O'Clock Club, Mickey Rouso, was also charged in the assault. Rouso later was convicted on lesser charges. The 4 O'Clock Club owner, Joey Camperlingo, was a convicted felon. He was indicted in New York in 1980, along with 14 others on drug smuggling charges. He was also an associate of Faris. Unfortunately, he disappeared in 1978 and is presumed to have been murdered. Where it gets interesting is when we look at the only female passenger on the plane, Shelley Stock. Shelley Stock was the fiance of John Monahan, family friend and business partner of John Walsh. Okay. Hallandale hotel consultant John F. Monahan, who said he had been negotiating with Riverbark to promote the ranch, was scheduled to be on the flight, but had to cancel at the last minute because of other business. After learning of the crash while in Denver, Monahan, employer and fiance of Miss Stock, went to the crash site in Eagle, Colorado to assist with funeral arrangements for several of the crash victims. He went to identify all 7 bodies of the plane crash. Now, does that prove anything? No, it doesn't. It doesn't prove anything at this time. However, there are certainly some interesting coincidences, circumstances surrounding this. There is a lot more information out there about this, but I found this particular thread very interesting because we don't hear much about the circumstances, right? Regarding that, we know it was horrible. We know his son was reported missing, and then they say he was found. We'll see. We'll see. I just hope that the truth eventually comes out. I really do, because I think there are a lot of things, not necessarily that, but a lot of things that would benefit from some transparency, right? I'm looking up something real quick for you guys because I want you to take a look at this, but I'm going to bounce back and forth here. You guys know by now. You guys know that I am kind of active in the LaPorte County Party, but not like super. So I am a precinct person, so I will be voting, but I would urge anyone who's a precinct person to seriously think about your vote. Okay, so I found it. I want to show you guys this because holy cow, like this is insane, guys. insane. You probably have already heard this, but if you haven't, here we go. All right, let me get this back up here. All right, move that over and put me right here. There we go. All right, here we go. Memology 101.
And there's been a lot of falsehoods. And let me just fact check a couple of things because it's really important. It is wrong, it is dangerous, and I also called out there are important people who have power, privilege, who are spreading these falsehoods, and they need to stop. They need to stop doing that. So disaster relief, this is a falsehood. Disaster relief funds used on immigrants illegally in the U.S. The fact is, no money is being diverted from response needs. That's the fact.
The fact, huh? Check this out, guys. Yeah. FEMA sent $59 million just last week, to luxury hotels in New York City to house illegal migrants. Elon Musk had tweeted, sending this money violated the law and is in gross insubordination to the president's executive order. That money is meant for American disaster relief and instead is being spent on high-end hotels for illegals. $59 million last week, guys. This was February 10th. What the fuck? $59 million. Yeah. And there's a meme on the screen. Taxpayers struggling to make ends meet after realizing $59 million went to illegals. Yeah. Not just illegals, guys, but to really, really nice hotels for them. Like really nice. Like hotels that are far more expensive than anywhere I generally stay. I know that. I don't I try not to stay in like Roach motels ever, but when you're traveling, sometimes you just need a place to crash, man. And I've slept in my share of Super 8s and Nights Inn and all these lower end places. Why can't they? Why can't these quote migrants stay in a Super 8? I mean, just saying, if we're going to spend money on housing, it might as well at least be somewhat affordable as compared to luxury hotels, dude. No way. All right, guys. I appreciate you spending your time with me. That's it for tonight. I'm in flux right now. I've got some other stuff going on, but I will definitely try to keep the videos coming. And what do you guys think of the camera? I'm not sold. I think it needs a little adjustment, but you guys let me know what you think. Does it look better? To me, it did. And now it's like, I think the focus might be off a little bit, but you guys let me know what you think. Hopefully it's better. I will say it's a lot smoother. I've noticed it's a lot less, jerky than the other camera for some reason, which, by the way, that other camera used to work fine. I don't know what happened. Whatever. All right, guys. God bless you. God bless Indiana. And God bless the United States of America. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening, and I'll see you again real soon. Good night.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers, Sean Holgram and Michael Beebe. Copyright 2024. Dion's Daily Dose, all rights reserved.